Next stop, the Senate. Let's get right to it with my political panel. ACU Chairman Matt Schlapp, former advisor to President Obama, David Tafuri. All right, guys, I have to start with this question. Hillary Clinton, should she be in charge of the resistance, David? Should she be in charge of the Democratic Party?
Look, anything can happen in politics, so I don't want to predict anything, but I think it's highly unlikely that Hillary Clinton is going to be a leader in the Democratic Party going forward. I think it's highly unlikely that she will run for president again. Look back to 2000 after Al Gore lost. He moved on to other things. He did lots of other interesting things. I think that's what Hillary Clinton will likely do.
Why is she doing this, David?
Why is she doing what?
Why does she keep saying she's going to be in charge of the resistance? She's going to raise money. She's going to do. I mean, this woman thinks that she should be in charge again.
Well, I think she's saying she's going to be part of the resistance. She's someone who has a lot to add to the public debate. She is someone who has demonstrated leadership capabilities. Okay. She can add to, the rhetoric and the description of why President Trump is not the right president for this country right now and is not leading us in the right direction. She's good at that, but she's not going to be the leader of the Democratic Party.
Can she add to the public debate? Can the public actually believe what she says?
Well, I do have a big smile on my face, Judge, and I just feel like she has so many people still to blame for her loss. I'm just really enjoying it. She gets paid to give these speeches where she just seems to be untethered from reality and her own failure. But actually, you said it better at the beginning of your show, so I'll let your words stand.
Oh, with me open. All right, guys, let's move on. Let's talk about health care. Now, House passes health care. Matt, I'm going to start with you. Pre-existing conditions, that seemed to be a real stickler for the Freedom Caucus on the right and the Tuesday group. Kellyanne Conway was just here, and she said it's about leadership, it's about the president being involved. But why all of a sudden are pre-existing illnesses okay and in the bill?
Well, I think there's been this whole conversation throughout the election and amongst conservatives and Republicans about, what do Republicans believe on health care? And Donald Trump stepped into that conversation and said, hey, I want to make sure pre-existing conditions are covered. He didn't say he just wanted to repeal Obamacare and let everybody figure their way forward.
So how did he convince the Freedom Caucus to include pre-existing conditions?
He did it by basically saying, look, guys, I'm going to give governors of states the ability to opt out of certain essential benefits and other mandates, but they're going to have to demonstrate to me, the President of the United States, that they have a way to take care of those with pre-existing conditions, and there's $108 billion and refundable tax credits to make sure people can purchase the kind of health insurance even if they have a pre-existing condition. All right. When you hear from Democrats that's not included, it's just not true.
And speaking of Democrats, I think we have some sound from Nancy Pelosi. Let's run it, guys. Take a listen.
Trump Care destroys protections for pre-existing conditions. Yes, it does. But not only that, it got essential health benefits such as maternity care, prenatal health, prescription drug, and emergency coverage. The list goes on and on.
Okay, so David, Matt just said, and Kellyanne Conway said, and it seems pre-existing conditions are covered. What's Nancy talking about?
Let's be clear about this.
Okay.
Pre-existing conditions are not covered by this House bill. They clearly are not. They were taken out. States can take them out. That gives the states the right to not cover people with pre-existing conditions. If you're in the audience right now and you have a pre-existing condition and you live in a state, you potentially are in a position where your state is not going to cover health care for you.
That's
just not true.
David, stop.
Let me finish.
You said you potentially are out, not that they're out. It's in.
States have a choice to eliminate the coverage, the mandate that you have to cover people with pre-existing conditions. And that's going to happen in some states. Yes, it is.
It's not true.
That is clear. Let's be honest about it. That's what the House did.
Hold on,
let me finish. Let's be honest. That's what the House did. I think the Senate is going to take up its own bill, and it's not going to do the same thing as the House. I think it's going to try and protect people with pre-existing conditions. But the American people should speak, and the polling suggests American people want pre-existing conditions
I know that. Let me go to Matt now. Matt, David says potentially it can be removed and eliminated. What do you say to that?
No, what David's getting confused at, and what Nancy Pelosi was not confused at, is that this bill gives governors in states more flexibility about the insurance options for those folks with pre-existing conditions. Matter of fact, when they petition it means that there's not just a one-size-fits-all way to take care of folks with pre-existing conditions, that the states are allowed, just like Governor Walker has done with welfare in his state, he's allowed to come up with his own system, but he has to demonstrate to President Trump and to Secretary Price that those people will be covered. To say they're not going to be covered is simply untrue.
Okay, David, very quickly, because I'm coming up against a break. You can't deny that everything is a mess, that the insurance companies are opting out of the exchanges, premiums are so high people can't afford them. We've got to do something, correct?
Judge, you were right to ask Matt, what does that mean? What he said makes no sense. Pre-existing conditions do not have to be covered. In many states, they will not be covered. There's an $8 billion pool to cover them, but experts say that will not be anywhere near enough. Okay? Not anywhere near enough. Hopefully the Senate will get a better bill out.
Matt Schlapp, David Tafuri, you'll come back and talk about the Senate.